You know something? If I'm Red Bull heading into 2026, I am not trading Yuki Tsunoda for Isack Hadjar. And I'll tell you why. We're heading into a brand new regulation in 2026. Red Bull have to be very, very clever and smart and go with wisdom ahead of the 2026 season. They've got to think before they pounce. They cannot make any decisions rash. They cannot just go into a season thinking, Isack's done well, let's get him in and hopefully everything's going to be okay. They have tried this method before and it hasn't worked. The reason I will say this though, Isack Hadjar's doing a tremendous job in Racing Bulls. So too is Liam Lawson. Great job. Racing Bulls will need to keep that consistency going over there as well. And the experience that Yuki Tsunoda has in Formula One is far superior to Isack Hadjar. I think if Red Bull are clever, they slowly transition Yuki into the next season in that Red Bull because he might just perform well. You know, the ground effect cars have been great for some drivers, they've been terrible for some drivers. And Yuki's kind of somewhere in the middle because I feel like he's got better as the regulations did change. Because in the beginning of Yuki Tsunoda's career, we were very hopeful, we were very much like excited to see how well he might do. And then as time's gone on, we were a bit like, underwhelming. But he's not a bad driver whatsoever. And he's gained a ton of experience. And I think you have to be very, very careful with where Red Bull go and utilize both Yuki and Isack Hadjar. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think that if Yuki Tsunoda loses his seat at Red Bull, I don't think he gets demoted to Racing Bulls. Unless somebody is out there praying for him. I don't think he remains there because they've got more people in the can, Red Bull. They've got more people in that driver academy that they can flood that Racing Bull with. And so Yuki Tsunoda is in a very precarious situation right now. Now, thankfully, his 6th place in Baku, he's done his best qualifying result as well in a Red Bull, and he's done his best result, I think, in a Red Bull as well, with P6. It's a good result, and Yuki has got to turn that screw. This has got to be the start of something new. This has got to be a turning point for the rest of the season because I want him to stay in that Red Bull and actually show that, do you know what? Once the management at Red Bull has got a lot better, we can make this work. We can do something here. We can actually progress. We can really, push on. We've seen Max have the most pole positions in 2025. And that's with a fast McLaren and a fast Lando Norris, a fast Oscar Piastri. George Russell, I think, has got a pole position this season. I think even Charles Leclerc has. And if they haven't, they're both bloody fast. We know how quick they are. We know that Kimi Antonelli's had a sprint pole. We know that Lewis Hamilton's had a Chinese pole. Sprint pole. What am I doing? So with those things in mind, the Red Bull car is getting better and better this season. And hopefully as the season goes on, we'll see better results from Yuki Tsunoda. Now, if that is going to be the case, that Yuki Tsunoda is doing better and better as the time goes on, it only makes sense to see him transition in that new season with Red Bull. I think. Because throwing Isack Hadjar, it would almost be like a rookie season again for him because it's his first season now, but then it's his first season in the current regulations as they are. When we get into the new regulations, kind of everybody else will be brand new to this, but they've had years, some have had decades of experience in Formula One. It would not be fair on Isack Hadjar to throw him into the lion's den in a Red Bull with brand new regulations in his second year in Formula One. It just wouldn't be fair on him. And you could see the writing on the wall, can't you? Now, there's new ownership. I say ownership. There's new leadership in Red Bull, and maybe, with the fact that Laurent Mekies is there, maybe it's going to be a completely different vibe at Red Bull. There's going to be a different value, a different ethos at Red Bull. Maybe there's going to be a lot more nurturing. Maybe there's going to be a lot more giving of time. Maybe there's going to be a lot more, a place where people can get comfortable in an environment where you can develop, you can grow. And we hope that will be the case for Isack Hadjar when he eventually goes to Red Bull, because he will eventually. And I'm not saying he should never go. That's not what I'm saying here. I am saying in 2026, it will be too soon. Meanwhile, you've got Yuki Tsunoda, bags of experience. Like since at least 2020, he's been in Formula One. He's done a good 6 seasons in Formula One. He's done brilliantly well in terms of like the stint that he's been in. He might have had a couple of years where it's been disappointing or underwhelming, but overall competent. Finally gets that Red Bull seat, and he's given a Red Bull seat with the worst Red Bull car that has been in existence for a very long time. And so all of these things have to be taken into consideration when we're thinking about Yuki's performances, when we consider how well Yuki has done in that Red Bull. And also, remember how he was good in the Racing Bull, albeit 2 or 3 races. He was really good in that Racing Bull with Isack Hadjar. And he was doing better than Isack Hadjar. And don't get me wrong, I think he'd have better results in that Racing Bull right now. And I still think he'll be better than Isack Hadjar at this point, had he stayed in Racing Bull. But he's in Red Bull now. He's in the big dogs. He's with the big boy team now. And I think there is something that we just got to wait and see what Laurent Mekies does with Red Bull. You know, when he's been given a winter, when he's been given a pre-season, you know, a season tested with a set of brand new regulations. How will he adapt? How will he get the best out of Max? How will he get the best out of Yuki? I don't think that Red Bull are in a rush to change. They should keep Yuki Tsunoda in that Red Bull in 2026 because of the sheer experience that he comes with. He comes with a ton of experience, and you're going to need that experience leading into a brand new set of regulations because you just never know what's going to happen. And who knows, we might be sitting there thinking, wow, who would have thought Yuki Tsunoda has turned his life around here? Completely, in terms of like, you know, he's fighting at the front row of the grid. He's getting pole positions. He's in Q3. He's getting race wins. He's on the podium. Like, it could happen. We can't just rule it out. We think we know Formula One, and Formula One always does something to surprise us. Look at the Baku result, for goodness sake. I never thought in a million years Carlos Sainz would be on the podium in a Williams in his first year, especially as the way he's getting cooked by Alex Albon this season. But here we are. I have a feeling that Yuki Tsunoda is going to end the season strong with Red Bull. And I just hope, as much as I want Isack to still do well, I hope Isack does well for the rest of the season, but I hope Red Bull do not pull the trigger. And I hope Red Bull stick with Yuki Tsunoda in 2026, and they keep Isack Hadjar in Racing Bulls in 2026, and then let it all play out. Let it all play out from there. Isack is more than capable to be in a Red Bull. We know that. And even he is very cleverly stated, look, like, yes, I do want to be in the best team in the world, but at the same time, I've seen others come before me and die. And literally his teammate was at Red Bull for 2-3 races and lost the seat straight away. So Isack is not stupid. He might be young, but he's got very old shoulders on him. So yeah, it remains to be seen. I think Isack Hadjar can just bide his time, continue to learn more things about Formula One, learn everything. You're a rookie. Just learn. Because you could be like Kimi Antonelli, where even though he's been put in a very good car, man, the light is bright. The light is bright over there. And he's having to learn on the job under the spotlight. And that's not what you need as a rookie, I don't think. Depends on your character. But Kimi Antonelli might be, I think he'll bounce back. I think Kimi Antonelli will be okay at the end of the season. And the same way I think Yuki Tsunoda will be too. And I think Yuki Tsunoda should keep his place in Red Bull this season as well as 2026. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you believe Yuki Tsunoda should keep his place in 2026? Do you think they should ease that transition if they're going to eventually make it with Isack Hadjar? Because I think Red Bull would be stupid to just make a knee-jerk reaction and pull the trigger. YouTube thinks you will like this video over here. If you like Formula One content like this, make sure you do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for plenty more that will come in store. Until next time, lights out.